Dude, this video is cursed. This video is cursed. I'll tell you why. Because I have already sat down to film this video 3 times. I filmed the entire first video, no audio. This last video I started filming just like 15 minutes ago. My camera just shuts off in the middle of filming. Even though there was a red record light, I could see it was recording. Fully recording, like went through this whole thing, was talking about the palette, was talking about everything. Camera just shuts off. I switch out the battery because I'm like, maybe the battery died. Come back, empty card, nothing filmed. But it told me it was recording. Where did it go? This video's cursed, you guys. So we're giving this attempt number 4. If this doesn't work, this is not meant to be. Hey guys, so today's video is not one that I ever thought I would be filming. It really is not. I could not have ever predicted this, and I could not have ever seen this happening in my life, but here we are. So a few weeks ago, I was on Twitter and I was checking through my mentions and I got a tweet from a follower that said, hey, at RawBeautyKristi, did you know that Hot Topic copied your Colourpop palette? And I was like, come again? So I clicked the link and lo and behold, yes, they did. And what? Hot Topic. Copy my palette. Me? Weird. Weird world. I spent my entire teenage years in Hot Topic. Looking at t-shirts, looking at spiky belts. I wore 2. Why did I wear 2 spiky belts? I literally don't know. Who needs 2? Who needs 1? But I wore 2 at once. I just couldn't believe it. So I went and looked on the website and oh yes, they did. It is my palette. It is 100%. There's no denying. And it is called the Cottagecore Mushroom Eyeshadow Palette. Well played. So if you did not know, last year I came out with the dream collaboration of my lifetime. The thing that I've been waiting for and manifesting and speaking into existence since like 2016 or 17. I came out with a collaboration with Colourpop Cosmetics and holy shit. To this day, I don't know that there's gonna be something that like I feel as proud of. Oh, but I'm so proud. So this is the collection. This is a palette and it is called At Forest Sight and it is RawBeautyKristi x Colourpop. And this is what it looks like. So as you can see, mushrooms, forest, it's just a mushroom vibe. Here's the inside of the palette. So you can see the colors. You can see we've got a dark one down here with copper sparkles. We've got the greens, we've got the warms, and this is the vibe. So let's look at Hot Topic's palette, shall we? I went online and purchased it because I was like, I gotta see this for myself. I gotta see what they copied. Here we go. So this is their eyeshadow palette and it is called the Mushroom Eyeshadow Palette and oh, there she is. Does it look familiar? We got the black with the copper sparkles. We got the greens. We've got the warms. This is 100% my palette. Now, this is a 9 pan. Mine's a 12. So there are a couple shades missing, but they really took the majority and just said, copy, paste, but not paste as well. It was like, we're gonna see. The side-by-side, the swatches. We'll see if it compares, you know? My eyeshadow palette with Colourpop is actually no longer available for sale, which really sucks, honestly. I wish they would bring it back as a permanent item, or at least again for this fall or something. I don't know. All I gotta say is, I really love it and I feel like it's a beautiful eyeshadow palette and I really worked hard on it, which is why when a company copies it outright, it's pretty shitty. Now, I will say, a part of me kind of is like honored a little bit because of all of the companies to copy my eyeshadow palette, Hot Topic, that's kind of legit. I'm just gonna say, like, it kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool in the same regard because it's like, I don't know, man, I spent my literal entire teenage years there just hanging out. And for them to like have thought that my palette was something worth copying or that would be like profitable for the company, that's pretty cool. And I'm kind of honored in a way. On the same vein, I will say that when you work really, really hard on something, you create the color story, you create the concept, you create everything down to the last minute detail. And then to have a company just rip it off blatantly to make a quick buck is a pretty shitty feeling. I'll say that above the honor, that to me is more of like the feeling that I'm getting. So it's just shitty. So when I created this with Colourpop, it was a very, very strong effort on my part. I did not just slap my name on something and be like, done, let's make money. That's not how it worked at all. In fact, I created every single color, the entire concept. We had long phone calls about this. I created a Photoshop document with my idea of what I wanted the art to look like so the art team could come up with like the more refined, beautiful version of that. It was a very strong effort. Each color was hand chosen by me, and not just hand chosen, but I created each color. So what I did was I looked at the landscape of Washington State. I looked at mushrooms, I looked at plants, I looked at mountains, water, and I took those images and then I took the little dropper tool and I picked colors out of each image. So the colors that you're seeing are actually colors of the Pacific Northwest, of mushrooms. And same with the design. We came up with all of the different colors. It was just a very, very like strong effort on our part to like make this collection really, really unique and cool. So to have a company just blatantly rip that shit off and then say like made by Hot Topic, distributed by Hot Topic, you didn't make shit. You literally saw my eyeshadow palette and did a direct copy and said, we can make money from this. And that's a really shitty feeling. Now, Hot Topic is not the only company to do this. By the way, everything in this video is alleged, okay? Allegedly they did this, but allegedly. This is not uncommon with makeup. It happens all the time and companies call it dupes. It's not a dupe, for crying out loud. It's not a dupe when it is literally a direct copy. The only thing is that the packaging is different. You know what I mean? But it is the same exact concept. It's not like they come up with a completely original concept that's similar with similar colors. Like it is a close to direct copy. There are other companies that do this quite often and have been like, you know, called out a lot of times for it. And most notably, I think the one is Revolution, Makeup Revolution. And I think that the product that comes to mind the most for me in that is Lunar Beauty came out with their Eclipse highlighters, I think is what they're called. I'm not 100% sure if they're Eclipse, but they're very, very, very clearly original packaging. You haven't seen anything like that before. And Revolution came out with a literal exact copy. And it's just shitty because you don't have to do any of the work, but you're gonna do all of the profit. And that's just kind of the way it is. And it's not technically, I don't think, illegal. I don't know, because it's not a direct copy, it's a dupe. They tend to do that to make it like a more inexpensive product. So like, let's say like Anastasia Beverly Hills will come out with a palette and then like Revolution will come out with one that's like literally the exact same color story, just in like cheaper packaging and is a way less expensive price tag. And I do understand why companies do it. And it is cool in a way to have people that maybe couldn't, you know, swing the original price tag for the ABH one, be able to get the one that is less expensive to get like a similar look. It just kind of sucks across the board for like the brand and everybody that put their hard work into that to have just their concept stolen and repackaged for a cheaper price tag. And this one isn't even that much cheaper. Like my Colourpop one I think was like $18 or $18 or $20. I can't remember off the top of my head now. This was a year ago. And this one I think was like $14.90. This palette is $14.90. So I'm gonna do a side-by-side swatch of the colors that it is meant to be in this palette compared to my palette. And I'm gonna do one eye with mine and one eye with the Hot Topic palette, and you can just see for yourself how they perform. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. We're about to find out. In looking at the two palettes side by side, you can see that they went for Puffball, Rainier, and Old Growth on the top. Then they went for Evergreen, West Coast, and Homegrown in the center, Fiddlehead, Emerald City, and Let It Rain on the bottom. So you can see what they tried to do. They didn't take all of the colors, but a lot of them. And my palette is a lot more richly pigmented. It honestly looks really similar. So let's see, let's do some swatches side by side. So first I'm gonna do Swirl Swirl, and this is Puffball from my Colourpop palette. Let's do a quick swipey. So there's that. Cottagecore, swipe, swipe. Close-ish. Mine's a little more deep brown. That's more kind of like yellowy sort of colored. Rainier and their dupe. Old Growth, Hot Topic. Evergreen, Hot Topic. So this one's mine, this one's theirs. So you can tell they're very, very different, even though they're meant to kind of look the same. Mine's like a duochrome. Oh, well, not quite. Mine is a duochrome from green to brown. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite shades. West Coast. Not too far off. Homegrown. Fiddlehead. A big part of me creating this eyeshadow palette was to make it extremely richly pigmented so that it could work for every skin tone. I really wanted something that would work for everyone, you know? I wanted something that would be suitable for lighter skin tones and deeper skin tones. That's really what my whole point was. So you can see that my colors are a lot more richly pigmented because that was a huge point for me. It was a huge part of making this eyeshadow palette, is that I wanted it to work on a multitude of skin tones. Emerald City. This one's mine, this one's theirs. There's a little more like chalky and bluer. That's right there is very obviously different quality. And the final shade is Let It Rain. Mine, theirs. That one's pretty close. There's mine. Oh, beautiful. So as you can see, swatch-wise, not much of a comparison. I will say that mine are way better. I'm not even gonna lie on that one, especially in this regard. You can absolutely tell. I rubbed my finger with the same pressure and the same amount of times in each shade. I'm not trying to lie in any capacity. This is just the reality of the situation and how they perform. So as you can see, it's clearly them trying to dupe my palette. There's no question about it, but let us see how they perform on the eyes. All right, I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I have already primed my eyelids and we can just start with eyeshadow. I'm gonna do Colourpop on this side, so my palette will be on this eye and Hot Topic on this eye. So I'm gonna start off with Puffball, and that is the top shade here from my Colourpop palette. And I'm gonna put that on a brush, big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna run that throughout the crease. This is probably my most used shade from this palette. It is the one that I feel like I reach for the absolute most. This is kind of my everyday shade. It's what I created it for, was to be like the perfect everyday tawny brown shade, just like that kind of camel brown. I'm not gonna try to make the Hot Topic palette look shitty either. Maybe it'll look good. Maybe it'll be a totally like good dupe, you know? Sometimes colors swatch really shitty and then they end up performing really nicely on the eye. And I'm not gonna try to make it look worse than it is or anything. I mean, you know, I'm gonna really try to make each eye look very similar to each other and give it like a, you know, a solid effort. I'm not gonna be able to use every shade, otherwise it's gonna be like a hodgepodge looking fucking eyeshadow look, but I'll do my best. Okay, so I've just got that color on throughout the crease. Now I'm gonna take the Hot Topic one and do that same brush. I used my color switch, so it is a fully clean brush, even though it looks kind of stained. I'll show you. This is called the Veramona color switch, and you go like this in here, and it knocks off all of the eyeshadow so that it is totally, there's nothing on it, but you can reuse that same brush because I want to make sure I'm giving it the exact same effort. So then I'm gonna take this shade here. I'm gonna really dip in. I'm not gonna try to like do one swipe and then be like, oh my God, the pigment sucks. All right, let's try it out. Hey, not so bad. The color is very different, as you can tell. Like this one is a lot more yellowy. Pretty though. I really love, love, love a shade like this. This is just my favorite kind of eyeshadow shade. I actually really think that shade is really pretty. It's a totally different vibe though, as you can tell. You might honestly prefer the vibe. You know, hey, to each their own. I don't even know if this is for sale anymore, so I purchased it online and then I think it is gone now. You can't even get to the webpage, so I don't know if maybe they saw me tweet about it. I doubt it. And then like removed it, but you know, here we are. Ooh, that actually blends pretty nicely. I feel like it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take the shades Fiddlehead and Emerald City, and I'm going to like run the greens over the top so that we can see what that will look like, because I feel like the greens are where everyone's gonna wanna see like how similar they are. So I'm gonna take this brush here, which is the Morphe M506, and I'm gonna dip into Fiddlehead right here. And I'm gonna run that on the inner portion of the eye. Kind of patting it right in the front. So this is more of that like very wearable green. I wanted it to be very wearable. I didn't want it to be too limey, too bright. I wanted it to be like a very khaki colored everyday. If you wanted to have a green, it's not gonna look like, oh, that bitch is wearing green eyeshadow. That was my whole purpose behind this shade, is I wanted it to be green because I love green. I love all of these shades so much, but I wanted it to be a very wearable green, and I feel like it is because it's almost like a brownie green. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but with Hot Topic. Okay, so theirs is a lot lighter a lot lighter. Totally more green too. I feel like it has a base of that, the color that I didn't want. Now I do like it. I like this color. It's just not what I was looking for in my palette. I wanted it to be really deep, really moody because it was a fall to winter themed eyeshadow palette. I wasn't going for this bright look that we've got over here. Still a pretty color though. Really packing it on. You can hear my baby outside screaming, having a fun time. Oh my God, he is so freaking cute right now, you guys. He's in a leap right now. I talked to you guys about this recently. He's in a developmental leap where he is learning a lot of new things, and that makes their sleep crappier and it makes them a lot more moody. But he learned so much just yesterday. Yesterday, when you wave at him like this, now he goes like this. Oh! You know when babies do, that's the cutest thing in the entire freaking world. So he's doing this, which is so cute. When you say hi, he goes, oh my God, it's so cute. And not only that, he learned, we have one of those things called a juvie spoon walker, and it's basically like the little walkie thing where they can like walk around the house, but they're in like a little seat. He is flying around the house. Oh my God, it is so darling. And don't worry, everyone's gonna say it, but we don't leave him in it unattended. He's totally safe. There's nowhere for him to fall or hurt himself at all. He's literally totally fine. Oh my God, he's just learned so many things. He learned he can do this, la 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 la. And so you can go la la la, and he does it. Oh my God, it's so cute. And this all started like yesterday. Like he also, we're trying to teach him like hug and kiss, and I feel like he's totally getting it. Anyway, sorry, tangent, but I can hear him down there having so much fun with his dad. It's so cute. Okay, so two totally different looking eye looks, but I think that they each work. Like honestly, because this shade is lighter and more yellow, it goes with this shade. And then because this one is deeper, it goes with this. So it honestly is just like, it's a vibe. So then I'm gonna take what the equivalent of Emerald City would be. So that's like this shade right here. And it is this like a more emeraldy green color. And I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm gonna pack that on the outer portion of the eye. And again, this shade was created to be a very wearable bluey green. I didn't want it to be something that was super vibrant, super clearly blue. I wanted it to be something that if you wanted to wear blue but you were a little bit intimidated, again, it's almost like could be confused as a different shade, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of patting those together so there's no clear line. Okay. So I'm gonna dip a little bit into Homegrown and just run that right along the top of that, to have a little bit more of a transition. Yeah, I like that. It's very subtle, the difference between the two, but I feel like it's pretty. So now we're gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna dip into the bluier shade. I'm just gonna pat that. And again, it's just a lot lighter and more obvious. I mean, it's not bad at all. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and be like, ooh, look how bad that's blending. It's really not. I feel like these are performing better on the eyes than they did in Swatch, that's for damn sure. I'm gonna dip into a little of what would be Homegrown, their copycat version. Run that along the top. Honestly, not bad. I feel like it's totally working. I'm gonna like put a little bit of shimmer on the eye. I'm gonna use a little bit of Evergreen. I'm just gonna tap a little bit into there and go right in the center. And I'm putting very little pressure. Ooh, that's pretty. It's a very green brown shade. It's not too green. It's not too, you know, much. I feel like it's just a very nice, subtle pop of green shimmer. It's so pretty. All right, and then I'm gonna take the Hot Topic version of that same one. Okay, now I'm going to pop on some lashes and then we can work on the bottom. Okay, lashes are on. Honestly, both sides look great. I feel like they're just totally different vibes. It's up to you though, whatever you think. I'm gonna stick with that. I like this one better, but that's just my vibe. That's why I created these shades, because I just really love the moody, deep vibe. But this is really pretty too. It's just a totally different look. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the lower lash line. And I'm gonna take that same like little Morphe brush that I just used. Okay, so I think I'm wearing two different lashes. I literally don't know. I just found these on the bathroom counter. So they look different to me. For my palette, I'm going to go in with the equivalent of Homegrown and Rainier, I believe. I wanna, utilize those shades. So I'm gonna dip into a little bit of Rainier and a little bit of Homegrown, kind of mix them together and run them on the lower lash line. You can probably hear my kid down there. You can probably hear him. He's being silly. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of Rainier. All right, now let's go in with the Hot Topic one. And like all of the other shades, it's just a much lighter version. Kind of orangey. This one's just the Homegrown equivalent right now. I haven't even added in the orangier shade. Okay, now I'm gonna toss a little bit of, this is actually a liner I came out with Colourpop. This is Woodsy, and this is the brown liner. And I'm gonna do it on both eyes just to see, I wanna make them as close as we can. And I'm gonna take a little bit of West Coast and I'm just gonna dab it onto the center. I love a shimmery lower lash line. So this is my West Coast. Take a little bit of that. Okay, and then taking their version of that same one. Ooh, this one's way less pigmented. I'm gonna have to dip a little more. All right, let's toss a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes and we will see the finished look. All right, so backed out, here's what we are looking at. Honestly, they look different. So I couldn't like wear these out and be like, oh, I just, like, I don't feel like I could like go to the grocery store right now and feel like I have similar eyeshadow looks on. I need to do a little bit of zhuzhing up to make sure that they look similar. They look close-ish, but like you can see, these are just a lot lighter, a lot more of like the base colors. So like the deep camely brown that I have in my palette is a lot more yellowy. The green is just a lot more vibrant green. And you might prefer this one. Honestly, it looks really good. If I use something like this, like I really like the way that it looks. I like the way that mine is deeper and more like moody and more fit for the season that I created it in. But honestly, this is really pretty too. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on it. It performs way better in an eyeshadow palette than it does in swatches, like hands down, no questions asked. It's so much better. But I think that ultimately, I like mine better, but it's up to your interpretation. What do you guys prefer? You might like this side better, and honestly, it's just like because they're different. They're so close, but different. So I don't know. I really like this one though a lot. I think they both look really pretty though. So I was just taking a couple of pictures of these, and in photos, it's actually shocking the difference. This one looks so much more richly pigmented, so much better in my opinion. It kind of doesn't pull off the same on camera, but in photos, I feel like I could tell such a huge difference. But yeah, there you go. Hot Topic. Really? But honestly, really? And I wish my palette would come back with Colourpop. I get asked that question so much every single day on social media. Is your palette coming back? When is your palette coming back? I don't know. I don't make those decisions. I don't get any say over any of that. You would think I would, but I don't have any say over that. But hey, Colourpop, if you ever want to bring it back, maybe it would, fall's coming up again. Just saying. I'm just saying. And are you listening? Hello? All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you at my next video. Bye! Testing, testing. Is this working? And now I'm gonna take the Hot Topic shade. I'm gonna take a little bit more. Ooh, am I orange? Hard to say. Fucking find it. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. I think I'm wearing two different lashes, if I'm being honest with you. Am I orange? Yes. Hello? Am I orange? Yes. Ew. Stop being fucking orange. Hello?